Hello friends, I hope you're all well. Today I would just like to do some seated poses. I encourage you to use any props that you might need. If you need to use a block, please have a block available to you. I am joined by my dog today, Tufty. So use a block, or if you don't have a block, you could use a thick book, something that you're comfortable to rest on. Also, have a strap available to you. You could, instead of using a strap, use a thick length of rope or a comfortable belt, something that's easy for you to hold. I also recommend that you have a blanket and maybe a thicker blanket, anything that you could use as a prop to sit on. As you can see, I'm sitting on this block right now. When you're seated on the floor for any length of time, please use a block or something like that to sit on so that your spine feels comfortable. Also, when you finish today, please drink some water. Just a little bit, just for your body. It's always good after you do a practice to have some water to drink. Don't overdo it, but do have some. So the first practice I would like to do is Piristasana, which is also called the lizard pose. So to do that, you could have a block available to you if you want one, but you may not need one. So come on to all fours, then bring the right leg forward. Bring your torso over the leg, the hands either side. If you find that your hands don't come down to the ground comfortably, do use blocks to rest the hands on or two books to rest the hands on. And simply keeping the shin in line with the foot, not going slightly to the left or to the right. Press down with the big toe and lean in with the weight of the body pretty much in the hands. Just lean the knee beyond the ankle, and you'll notice opening in the groin, in the right groin. If you want a little bit more of an intense stretch, you could put the soft part of the left toes on the floor and lift your knee up, keeping the leg not straight, but the knee bent a little bit. Lengthen your spine, lift the collarbones up, drop the top part of the shoulders down your back. Keep the neck tucked just a little bit. Hold this for as long as it's comfortable for you, but please don't overdo it. This is a nice stretch to be getting on with. Now when you're ready to, bring the left knee down. Put the soft part of the toes, the toenails, on the mat on the rear leg. Or if you want to, you could continue keeping the soft part of the toes on the mat themselves. So lean back, moving the weight back. If you can, keep the foot on the floor, the right foot on the floor. But if you want to, you could bring the foot up as well. Lean over the leg, keeping the big toe pressed down in the right foot. Lengthen your spine comfortably. Don't focus on bringing your chest down. Just think about lengthening your spine out. Listen to your body. Don't overdo it. Be mindful of your neck. Now, move both hands on the insides of the leg. Draw the right leg back. Regain your equilibrium. Draw the right foot forward. Again, make sure you engage the big toe. Move the hands so they're either side of the leg. The torso is over the leg, not over the groin. Lean the knee forward. The weight is in both hands. Tuck the chin, lengthen the spine comfortably. Again, notice the opening in the groin on the left. Roll the toes under if you want to. For a little bit extra, lift the knee up off, the right knee up off the mat. Keep the face soft. Listen to your body. Now if you want to, if you're ready to, bring the knee down. Move the toenails onto the mat, or keep the soft part of the toes on the mat. Lengthen the left leg out. Again, the hands are either side of the legs. No, of the leg. This is one leg. Lengthen your spine comfortably. Keep the chin tucked. Don't force yourself into a pose. Be mindful of your breath. Watch the breath going in and out. Bend the knee. Move the hands to the inside of the leg. Then bring the knee down. Now, for this side, to continue on with this, what I would like you to do is to draw the right leg back up again. I beg your pardon. The right leg. Then, move the left knee back a little bit. Take the right hand, bring the right hand behind you and hold on to the ankle of the left leg. Now, with the left foot, flex the left foot and push the left ankle against the fingers and have the fingers pull back. And then bring yourself up. Put the left hand on the right knee. Lengthen your spine. Lift the clavicles. Drop the spinal scapula. Whoops. Balance, balance. Everybody gets those days. Then exhaling, turn the torso towards the right. So you're looking over the right thigh. Collarbones, spine of scapula. Keep the left foot active. The big toe in the right foot is pressing into the mat. Listen to your body. Be mindful of your back. Then undo the bind. Bring the right hand down, the left hand down, undo the bind with the left leg, bring the right leg back. Then turning around so you can see this side. Draw the left foot forward. Again, the foot is pointing directly forwards. Make sure you use the big toe, press the big toe into the mat. Feel comfortable. Draw the right leg up. Bring the left hand behind. Hold on to the right ankle. Bring your torso up. Right hand on the left knee or thigh. Lift the clavicles. Drop the spinal scapula. Keep the right ankle flexing, the right foot flexing. Turn the torso towards the left. Lift the clavicles. Drop the spinal scapula. Listen to your body. Breathe. And then bring the right hand down, place that on the floor, undo the bind with the left. Draw the left knee back. The next pose that we're going to do is called Virasana. Virasana means hero pose. So there are a number of ways that you can do this. If you have problems with your ankles, I beg your pardon, with your knees, you can take a block, sit on a block, like so. Have the legs in close beside you. Come up, move the muscles from behind the knees, creating a pocket behind the knees. Sitting yourself down. If you get cramp in your foot, adjust the foot so you don't feel a cramp. Lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula, tuck the two floating ribs. Put your hands together, interlace the fingers, then turn the palms so that they face upwards. You do this twice. On the other side, to do the other side, you change the fingers around so the other fingers are on top, and then you bring the arms up overhead. Try and have the arms touching the ears, but if that does not work for you, take your strap. Hold on to the strap so the hands are about shoulder width apart, and then bring the arms up overhead. This will allow you to lengthen the arms without hurting your shoulders. So the other way you can do this is, if your knees won't do that, what you can do, take a block, sit on the block or on a thick book, cross the legs, have the right foot so that the right foot is in front. Make sure you feel comfortable. Make sure your torso is straight up and down. When you're seated like this, you want to sit on a block so that your lower back can be comfortably straight. Perhaps if you're seated on the mat and you're not seated on a block, you'll notice that the lower part of your back will round like that. And you can sit like that. But if you sit like that for a long time, your back is going to become uncomfortable. So please sit on the block and allow the lower back to be comfortable. The other thing is the feet, the sides of the feet press gently into the mat, but not very hard, but just hard enough so that you can feel the pressure. If you overpress, what's going to happen is you're going to torque the knees. It won't bother you right now, but later on it might bother you. So please get in the habit of, if you are pressing the feet down, it's the blades of the feet pressing down, not the sides of the feet. And they're pressing down like that, but only gently. So in which case what you would do, put the hands together, bring them up overhead, or use the strap at shoulder length, bring them up overhead, like so. The other way that you can do it is not using the block. Knees together, heels apart, pull the skin from behind the knee, bring the buttocks down to the ground. The lower back is comfortably straight. The heels are in beside the hips. They're not sticking out towards the side like a W. If you have your knees sticking out like that, you're going to damage the knees. So if you are going to sit like this, the legs come straight back beside you. And then lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula, tuck the two floating ribs, gently lengthen your spine. Put the hands together, interlace the fingers, and bring the arms up overhead. Please be mindful of your breath as you practice. Tuck the two floating ribs. Lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula. Breathe. Then bring the hands down. Keep the hands in the Atmanjali Mudra, then change the fingers. So the next thumb is on top, the other thumb is on top. Breathe. Make any subtle adjustments your body suggests. And bring the arms down together, hands together in the Atmanjali Mudra. Gently come out of the bind. Whenever you come out of a pose slowly. Don't be in a hurry to do that. The next pose we're going to do is one of my least favorite poses. It's called Dandasana, the seated staff pose. Now, there are a number of ways that we can do this. to begin with, bend the knees a little bit. What I would like you to do is to fix the heels into the floor and just feel like you're pulling the heels apart. You're not pulling them apart. You're not using enough strength so that the feet actually move. It's just enough strength so that you can feel the hips opening. You can feel an engagement at the groin. Place the hands on the floor. Clavicle, spinal, scapula. Now, gently straighten the legs. Now I would like you, with the legs gently straightened, bend the knees a little bit, fix the heels into the floor, and feel like you're pulling the feet back towards you. Again, you can feel a tightening in the groin, but it's just a little bit, and it's more up here rather than at the sockets. Lift the clavicles, drop the spinal scapula. And then relax. Now, what I would like you to do is, if you want to, you can use a block here, sit on the block, or if the block is too high, get a blanket. You could sit on the blanket just to get a little bit of elevation. Like so, depending on how tight your hips happen to be today. And with the arches in the feet seemingly going forwards, the sides of the feet seemingly pulling back towards you. The feet themselves are dorsiflexing back towards you. That means the feet are starting to point back towards you, and your toes are active. Place the hands on the floor beside you, or if you're sitting on a mat, on the mat or on the blanket, whichever you prefer. The spine lengthens comfortably upwards. You're lifting the collarbones. You're dropping the top part of the shoulders down. The deltoid muscles are turning out a little bit. The chest is opening. The hands placed beside you. The chin is tucked a little bit, so you're looking towards the ground, and the back of the neck is lengthening. This can be a difficult pose for men because the hamstrings tend to be quite tight on some men. And relax. Just shake the legs out a little bit if you like. The next pose that I would like to do is Gomukhasana. Gomukhasana is the cow face pose. And there are a couple of ways that we can approach this too. I'd like you to perhaps have a blanket strap available to you, maybe a block available to you. So the pose basically looks like this. You bend the left leg, bring the right heel around, put the right heel, you sit on the right heel, draw the left foot back. The knees line up one on the other. You take the left hand, stick the left hand out, bring it down, around, bring the right arm up overhead, hold on to the other hand. That is the way the completed pose looks. There are a number of ways that you can practice this pose if your body doesn't feel as flexible right now, especially if you're having a problem with your shoulders or if there's a problem with your knees or with your hips. So, what you can do is you can sit on a block. That will give you elevation. You can draw the left leg back, the right leg back towards the left hip. So, if bringing the knee, the left knee over the right knee does not work for you, you could extend the left leg out, having the left leg active, the arch going forward, the foot dorsiflexing back towards you. It's a very active pose. You would then bring the right hand up overhead, bring the left hand down around, and hold on to the left hand with the right fingers. So it's like that. If that does not work for you, what you could do is you could take your strap, put the strap over the shoulder. I almost hit myself in the head. Put the strap over the shoulder, bring the right arm up overhead, bring the hand down and hold onto the strap wherever it's comfortable for the arm. Now, regarding the up arm, the elbow does not stick out like that. The elbow points directly ahead or straight up. So it's in line with the torso, not out on the sides. So up as high as it wants to go comfortably or at whatever angle. That's the beauty about using the strap, because then with your free hand you can bring the left hand around and hold on to the strap wherever it happens to work for you. With the left hand, I want you to be sure that you bring the arm in so that the top part of the arm presses in against the side, against the back of your torso. So it would be like that, pressing in. The hand presses into the back, the other arm comes up, holds onto the fingers, etc. So choose which way will work for you. So you can draw the right heel back, sit on the heel. The heel is on the perineum. The left knee lines up over the right knee with the top part of the foot pressing down into the mat, not sticking out to the side, not like that, like that. If you have problems with your ankle or with your knee and it won't do that, please do what it is that your body would like to do, but please be very careful about how the joints work. You don't want to do anything that's going to aggravate the joint. So if you want to, if your legs do this, but your arm won't go overhead and have the fingers meet and hold on to one another, please use the strap. Put the strap over the right shoulder. So, to begin with, place the hands on the floor. Lengthen the spine comfortably. Stick the left arm out. Turn the thumb down of the left hand. So the left thumb is pointing directly downwards. Bring it up, pressing the arm and the hand into the back. Then bring the right arm up overhead, directly in front of you. Bring the hand over and hold on to the fingers or the hand of the other hand. Lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula, tuck the two floating ribs. If you want to use the strap, you could take the strap, bring it over. The elbow points directly up. The other arm is comfortable. The back of the hand and the arm is pressing into the other back. And you lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula, tuck the two floating ribs. Relax the face, lengthen the neck. Remember to breathe. And then undo the bind. Let the hands rest on the floor for a moment. Then undo the bind with the legs coming out of the pose gently. Shake the legs out. Then bend the right knee. Bring the left heel. Sit on it. Draw the left leg back, the right leg back. Again, the top part of the right foot is pressing into the floor, not sticking out to the side. Line the toes up overhead. If you want to, you could, if your right knee won't do this, have the right leg extended out. But remember, when you do that, you want to have that leg active. It's not just out there passively. And you want to have the foot dorsiflexing, pulling back towards you. And you want to feel like the arch of the foot is also pulling back towards you. Nice, strong pose. Lengthen the spine, lift the clavicles, drop the spine of scapula. Decide if on this side you want to use a strap. If you're going to use the strap, take the strap, put it over the left shoulder. Stick the right arm out, turn the thumb so it's facing downwards, then bring the left hand in and back and hold onto the strap at a point that works for you. Bring the left arm up overhead, directly up overhead, then bring it back, hold onto the strap at whatever point works for you. I sometimes have problems with my left shoulder, so I'm going to use the strap on this side. Keep the chin tucked a little bit, keep the spine comfortably lengthening, relax the face, keep the hips active. Gomukhasana, Gomukhasana, cow face. Or as a friend of mine liked to say, cows go moo. That's how she used to remember this pose. Remember to breathe. Make any subtle adjustments your body suggests. Now, undo the bind with the hands. Rest the hands on the floor. Allow the spine to relax a little bit. Shoulders relax a little bit. Then when you're ready to, undo the bind with the legs. Shake them out a little bit. The next pose, from here, I would like to go to Baddha Konasana, the bound angle pose. To do this, put the hands behind the knees and then just gently draw the feet back towards you. If after you've drawn the feet back, you find that you want to move forward a little bit, then just put your hands behind you and just move the hips forward, rather than forcing the knees back. Take the thumbs and massage the insides of the feet. Avoid the temptation of butterflying your knees. When you do that, what happens is it actually tightens the muscles in the groin. You don't want to do that. Massage the insides of the feet. Lift the clavicles, drop the spine and scapula. If you find that this is uncomfortable to do, your lower back feels tight or your knees feel tight, you always have the option not to do a pose, so please listen to your body. If your body doesn't want you to do it, please don't do it. The other thing you could do is sit on a block. What that will do is it will allow the muscles that go from the hips through the seat of the hips, through the basin of the hips, and up to the lower back, where the muscles actually go along the lower part of the spine and connect to the first rib, the lowest rib. By sitting on the block, that will allow your hips to relax a little bit and the lower part of the back to relax a little bit, so you don't get as much tightness. Then, after having done this, take the elbows and put the elbows in the creases of the thighs, resting the elbows on the legs but not pressing down with the elbows. Tuck your chin a little bit, lengthen your spine. Then very gently, for about 10 seconds, that's about, you count 10 elephants, press the legs against the elbows. The elbows are not pressing down, it's simply the legs pressing, and it's gently pressing. When you press gently, you'll notice the tension increasing in the groin. You just want a slight tension. You do not want to press very hard. Now, after you've counted 10 elephants, move the elbows back to the hips. Don't keep the elbows on the legs. Let the legs be at a height that they want to be at. So if they want to rise up, let them rise up. Now, move the elbows back, put them back in place, not pressing down. Gently press the elbows again for about 10 elephants. Just a light pressure of the legs on the elbows. Again, about 10 elephants. Then move the elbows back, pausing for about 15 elephants or something like that, whatever feels right to you. Just enough time so the groin has a chance to relax a little bit. Now, we'll do it one more time. When you practice this, please don't do this particular technique 2 days in a row. And don't use the legs pressing against the elbow technique more than 3 times at one time. After the 3rd time, there is little or no benefit, and you run a great chance of pulling the muscle in the groin. So for the 3rd and final time, move the elbows back. Very gently press the elbows up, press the legs against the elbows. Lift the clavicles, the collarbones, drop the spinous scapula. Tuck the 2 floating ribs a little bit. Chin is tucked just slightly, looking down towards the ground. Very slight tension in the groin, not a lot. Wait for about 10 elephants. Then move the elbows back. Again, let them rest for a moment. Now, to come out of this, don't simply just bring the legs together. After having done the technique of pressing the legs against the elbows, your groin is in a position where it could hurt, right? Or you could hurt it or pull it if you overdo this. So what you do is you take your hands, put the hands behind the knees, and simply bring the legs together. Don't use the muscles in the groin to do that. And then just extend the legs out. Shake the legs out a little bit. Now, the next pose that I would like to do is Paripurna Navasana, full boat pose. So, there are a couple of options that you have, and which one you use, of course, is up to you. So, to start, just to get into position, have the feet on the floor. Now, when you practice this pose, in terms of the tummy muscles, I want you to feel like the tummy muscles are pulling apart. They're going to look like a bread loaf, or more than likely they'll look like a bread loaf. Don't worry about how it looks, but I want you to feel internally like you're pulling the muscles apart in the tummy. When you do that, that helps to support the lower part of the back. Doesn't mean you can't hurt the back, but it will help to support the back. So, please, in whichever pose you have, whichever position you happen to choose for this, please remember the no bread loaf thing where you're feeling like the tummy muscles are pulling apart. So, if you want to, you can simply have the feet flat on the floor and lean back with the arms extended out, tummy muscles pulling apart. You could bring the shins up so the shins are up parallel to the ceiling with the arms out, tummy muscles pulling apart, no bread loaf. Or you could pull the legs so they're straight up, pull the toes back towards you, the balls of the feet seemingly press against the wall or the ceiling, depending on how you are. Again, tummy muscles, no bread loaf. When it's time for you to come out of it, come out of it. Don't overstay the welcome of a pose. It's a good way to get an unpleasant reaction. So please don't do that. So listen to your body, and when your body says, I've had enough of this, not your ego, your body says, I've had enough of this, come out of it. It doesn't matter if it's only, for a few seconds or whatever. Over time, you'll be able to stay in the pose longer and longer, right? But don't worry about later. Just think about now and how you don't want to have the ibuprofen bottle as a good friend later on. So, choose how you would like to do it. Either feet on the floor, shins parallel to the ceiling, or toes pointing up towards the ceiling and balls of the feet pressing towards the wall. Whichever happens to work for you. Please go at your own pace. Lean back. Listen to the body. No bread loaf. Lift the clavicles, the collarbones. Drop the top part of the shoulders down the back. Tuck the two floating ribs. Listen to your body. No bread loaf. And then come out of the pose. The next pose that I would like to do is a pose called Janu Sirsasana, which is a forward fold. But to practice this pose, I would like you to have a strap available to you. Now, when you practice this pose, the basic shape of the pose is the leg extended out with the heel near the groin. Now, with the bent leg, I want you to have the bent leg pressing against something. So if it won't go to the floor because your hip's tight or you've got something going on with the knee, take a blanket and put the blanket underneath the leg, or use a block, whichever you like, whichever happens to work for you. If you want to use a book to press the leg against, please do that. The other thing is that the hips are generally square to the front, right? The leg, the extended leg, in this case the right leg, is extended out. The toes are pulling back towards me. The arch of the foot is going forwards. The sides of the foot is coming back. It's a very active pose. Hips generally square to the front. Adjust your body as you need to. The foot points directly up. The knee points directly up, unless you've had damage to the ankle or to the knee, and it won't do that. The other thing is that the left leg, the knee presses down. Please remember to keep the knee active in the pose. The other thing, watch out for the lower back. Be gentle with the lower back. If the lower back feels really tight, you could take your blanket and you could sit on the blanket simply by raising the hips up. You will find that you'll release some of the tension. Now, to begin with, have your strap available to you. And we'll start with the leg bent. This is not traditional way to get into it, but I find that it works very nicely for the back and it helps to open up the chest and the hips. So, align yourself so the chest is generally over the leg, not over the groin. Take both hands, hold on to the outer edges of the feet. Lengthen the spine, lift the clavicles, tuck the two floating ribs. The bent knee is pressing down into the floor. The heel is fixed into the mat. I want you to feel, with the heel fixed, I want you to feel like you're pulling the mat towards you a little bit. Lift the clavicles, drop the spinous scapula, lengthen your spine, lean over the leg, bending the elbows if they want to bend. Keep the chin tucked. Breathe. Then release the pressure. Move the leg out a little bit. Again, keep the knee bent. Forward fold over the leg. The chin is tucking, the spine is comfortably extending. If you find that it's tight right now, take the strap, put the strap over the ball of the foot. Hold on to the strap with both hands, either side of each end has a strap. Each end of the strap has a hand holding it. Lengthen the spine, lift the clavicles, lengthen your neck gently. You're looking down towards the knee or the shin. Think of the spine lengthening out rather than going down. Fix the heel, draw the heel back towards you. Then relax. Extend the leg out a little bit more. Look at the foot is pointing upwards. The bent leg is pressing down nicely. Forward fold over the leg. The chin is tucking. Think about lengthening rather than going down. Don't worry about how far you go down. Just think about keeping the spine comfortably lengthening. And above all, be mindful of what's going on with your lower back. How does that feel to you? Now, to come out of the pose, if you're using a strap, put the strap in both hands, put both ends of the strap in one hand, take the free hand, put that on the floor. Press down into the floor, release the other hand, put the other hand on the floor, then press down and bring your torso up. Using the strength in your arms, don't use the back to do that. Then remove the strap. Exchange the position. Draw the right leg back. Press the heel into the groin. The right knee presses down. The left leg is extended out. The arch of the foot is active. The toes are dorsiflexing back towards you. Bend the knee. Draw the foot back. Torso comes down over the left leg. Hold on to the balls of the feet. Lengthen the spine. Lift the clavicles. Drop the spinal scapula. Relax the face, fix the heel, feel like you're pulling the heel back towards you. You're not using your hands to pull back. It's just the heel. And again, you're not pulling, you haven't got so much activity going on that the foot is actually moving. It is just enough so that you feel the tension in the groin from it. You may notice the body opening. Adjust the torso as the body requires. Move to the strap whenever you want to. Extend the leg out a little bit. Lengthen the spine. Bring the torso down. Think of the torso as lengthening rather than going down. Allow the body to adjust as it wants to adjust. Don't force your body into a position it doesn't want to be in. When you are ready to, if you want to, switch to the strap. Strap behind the ball of the foot. Lengthen the leg out as much as you want to. The foot dorsiflexes back towards you. Allow your torso to rise up. The torso is over the leg. The foot is active. The arch of the foot is active. The side of the foot is active. Lift the clavicles, drop the spinal scapula, lengthen your spine. Allow the left hip to relax a little bit. Keep the right knee pressing into the floor or the right leg pressing into the floor. Then when you're ready to, move the strap into one hand. Take the free hand, press that on the floor. Release the other hand. Press down with the hands to bring yourself up. Come up slowly, don't be in any hurry. Remove the bind. The next pose I would like to do is called Ardha Matsyendrasana, which is the half-Lord Fishes pose. Again, there are a number of ways that you can do this. And of course, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. So, the practice generally looks like this. Take the right leg, thread the right leg in, bring the right heel to the left hip. Draw the right knee, the right foot back. The left foot is pointing directly forwards. Take the left hand, put the left hand on the floor, bending into the left elbow. Allow the torso to turn, so you're bending enough so that you can feel the rib cage free. Then bring the right arm up overhead, bring the elbow down and have it on the outside of the leg. Lift the clavicles, drop the spinal scapula. Keep the legs active, press down with the big toe. Now if you want to, take the left hand, the right hand, bring the right hand down and place the right hand on the right heel. The chin tucked. Bring the chin up, looking over the left shoulder. Then drop the chin down, bring it up, looking towards the left foot. Other way that you can do this is to, again, have the feet in the same position, leaning back, turning the torso, but this time keep the right hand on the left knee. And instead of bringing the elbow down, simply hold on to the knee, keeping the elbow bent, and allow the torso to turn, keeping the shoulders relaxed, lifting the collarbones up. The right knee presses down into the floor, the right leg presses down into the floor. Turn the head towards the left, looking over the left shoulder. Then when the time feels right to you, drop the chin down, bringing it up. Look over the left foot. Whichever pose happens to work for you, you do not have to do either of these if you don't want to. So, sitting with the leg straight, bend the left knee, bring the right heel to the left hip. Draw the right foot back, the left foot back. The left foot's pointing directly out. Take the left hand, put the left hand behind you somewhere out. Bend the left elbow. Bring the right arm up, bring it down. Bring the right hand down towards the right heel, keeping the elbow bent. Turn the torso comfortably. Keep the leg that's on the floor active, the right leg active, and the left toes active. Relax the shoulders, lift the clavicles, drop the spinous scapula. Turn the head. Breathe. Now, if you're comfortable in this position, you can bring the right hand up and then bring the arm around and hold on to the arch of the left foot. Then bring the left hand behind you and rest the left hand on the right hip. Looking behind you, then bring the chin over, looking over the right shoulder towards the left foot. Then undo the bind with the left hand, press down with the left hand, then release the right hand and gently come out of the pose. For the other side, shake the legs out, bend the right knee, bring the left heel to the right hip, bring the right foot back, foot pointing directly forwards. Again, if you've had damage to your knee or to your ankle and it won't do that, you have to allow for what your body will do and what it won't do. Remember, you have the option to, after bending, putting the right hand on the floor and bending, of just holding the knee with the left hand, or you can bring the left arm up in the air, bring the left elbow down, allowing the torso to turn over the right hip. I beg your pardon. Yes, the right hip. Boy, I'm lost these days. Bring the left hand down, hold on to the left heel, keeping the elbow bent. Drop the chin down. Look over the shoulder, the right shoulder. Make any subtle adjustments your body suggests. Do not overdo it. You may find you're tighter on one side than you are on the other. That's not at all unusual, so please don't overdo it. And remember, if you have a little bit of a tummy, this is a lot harder for people who have a little bit of a tummy than people who don't. So do allow yourself to have your body's normal positioning. If you want to, bring the left hand around, hold on to the arch of the right foot, bring the right hand around behind you, and put your fingers onto the left hip. Then drop the chin down, bring the chin up, looking over the right foot. Relax. Now, take the right hand, put the right hand on the floor, undo the bind with the left hand, then easily, gently come out of the pose. Please remember, when you are practicing, don't go to the extreme edge of your pose. Don't take your body as far as it will go, because if you do that repeatedly, you are going to hurt yourself. So what I like to think of is you go to the point where you can see the edge of your pose, but you don't go there. So you're going to a point where you can tell that you're starting to get to the edge of the pose, but you're not there yet. And that's sort of where you want to be. You want to be able to be in a pose and find some point of relaxation in the pose. If you find no relaxation in the pose, you are in too deeply. So come out of the pose a little bit. And remember, whenever you're deep in a pose and you're making an adjustment, always come out of the pose a little bit before you make the adjustment, especially if it's a big adjustment. So the final pose that we're going to do is Shavasana, the corpse pose. Now, to do the corpse pose, move things out of your way. Use a block or a pillow, extending the legs out in front of you. Bring yourself down. You can bend the knees if you want to. Lay down. Move the hips, thighs, and buttocks so they feel comfortable. The lower back, the shoulders. Keep the arms in beside you a little bit. Extend the legs out. Let the feet fall down. Turn the hands so they're facing the ceiling. You have the block. You put the block underneath the head. It's very important to have something to elevate the head. If you don't have something to elevate the head and you just keep it on the floor, what will happen is after you've been in this pose for a little bit, your chin will start sticking up. And it'll scrunch the back of the neck. So please don't do that. So while you find the appropriate things for your practice, I recommend a blanket. I recommend something nice to use as a pillow, not something too soft, but something that is going to keep your head comfortably elevated. Something like this would work very nicely. A thick towel, something that will have some support. Find that, lay down, put the blanket over you. If you wear glasses, take the glasses off so you avoid having a pressure on the bridge of the nose. And I will now talk you through the pose. So get comfortable. I always like to have a blanket. This pose is very important, so please don't neglect it. You know, a lot of people, they like to skip this pose. Well, not a lot of people, but some people like to skip this pose. They think it is a waste. This pose is not a waste. It is in this pose that, one, your body gets to relax after the work you've just done, and two, your body starts to assimilate the information that it has gleaned from the various poses that you've been doing. So please don't neglect this. Now, beginning at your feet, please tighten the feet and then relax the feet. Tighten the calves and relax the calves. Tighten the quadriceps and the hamstrings of the thighs and then release them. Very gently tighten the hips, the groin, and the buttocks and then release them. Beginning at the Muladhara chakra, at the perineum, at the base of the spine, please tighten and relax the muscles along your spinal column until you reach the shoulders. When you get to the shoulders, please bypass the shoulders and go to your hands. Make fists of your hands, then relax the hands and turn the palms so that they face upwards. Tighten the forearms, Relax the forearms. Tighten the upper arms. Relax the upper arms. Now tighten your shoulders and then relax them. Very gently tighten the neck and then the throat and then release them. Scrunch your face up as if you've had something bitter and you really like it. And then release the face. Wrinkle the sides of the head. Relax the sides of the head. Wrinkle the front of the head. Relax the front of the head. Wrinkle the back of the head. Relax the back of the head. Now wrinkle the crown of the head. Relax the crown of the head. Tighten the ears, and then the eardrums, and then release them. Keeping your eyes softly closed, look down towards your feet. Feel the stretch above the eyes. Now relax your eyes. Now look to the forehead or the crown of the head. And relax the crown of the head. Now look to the right. Relax the eyes. Now look to the left. Relax the eyes. Now allow the eyes to sink into the skull a little bit. Allow your eyes to turn clockwise several times. And bring them back to stillness. Now allow the eyes to turn anti-clockwise several times. And bring them back to stillness. Now relax the muscles that run along the bridge of the nose and underneath the eyes. Relax the skin on the face so it feels like it's separating from the skull. Relax the muscle between the nose and the upper lip. Now take your tongue and lick your lips. Then let the tongue be in a neutral place in the mouth. Relax the tongue. Relax the root of the tongue. Relax the base of the tongue. Now relax the soft and the hard palate of the mouth. Please be mindful of your breath. Simply watch the breath going in and watch the breath going out. Don't interfere with the breath, just watch it. And when you notice that your mind has wandered, simply bring it back to watching the breath. And now, when you are ready, please move your limbs, which are the organs of action. And then, when the time is right for you, roll over onto your right-hand side. If you need to roll over onto the left, please do that. Pause there for a moment, then use your elbow and opposite hand to bring you to a comfortable seated position. Iti. Thank you for coming to the practice. Please remember to do some meditation after this, just a little bit. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Nice way to round it out. Nice way to round the practice out. Also remember to drink some water. Very good after your practice. I hope you have a lovely day and that you and your friends and family are well. Thank you.